Why is it that when a man dies, we bury him in a suit? Like, I don't want to be buried in a suit. That's my final rest, not my first interview. We're a backwards people for that, man. We're backwards because when babies are born, the first thing we do is wrap them in pajamas and blankets. Life should be the other way around. My final rest should be pajamas, big old tiger blanket. And the minute that babies are born, they should immediately be put in suits because first impressions are everything. And I know you're like, that's such a goofy ass silly thought, you know? But it's serious, cause like, all right, just imagine that I brought out 2 newborn babies right now. Twins even. One of them in a suit and the other one in pajamas. Which one are you gonna respect more? The Sleepy Bum baby or the 401k baby? Like.
And if people was gonna assume that I don't speak English, that's fine. That's what I do now when I get pulled over by the cops. I just pretend I don't speak English. Haven't gotten a ticket in 5 years. Last time I got pulled over, the cop was knocking on my window. He's like, sir, you do understand you can't make a right turn here. It says right there in the sign you can't make a right turn. So I just looked up at him. I was like, oh. I don't know. I'm sorry, but the English is not very good, so I cannot read the sign. And he was really confused. He just looked back down at me. He was like, sir, the sign is not in English. It's a diagram, so I don't understand how that's a language barrier. So I just looked up at him. I was like, oh, I don't know.
We didn't have the internet. 90s kids were the last generation before the internet. And all the games before us were terrible. I mean, I asked my mom, what'd y'all play growing up? She said, kick the can. I was like, that's a sad story, Stacy. I mean, that's a game I wouldn't even be able to play in Colorado. You'd have 6 hipsters show up, pick up the can! This is how we lost the damn dinosaurs. You wouldn't be able to play that. Some of y'all over the age of 45 had some of the dumbest games ever. You thought tetherball was the lights out game. That's a ball, a pole, and a rope. You're an idiot just standing there in the yard smacking a ball around. You can't believe it keeps coming back to you. This shit's electric. It's because we didn't have internet yet. I mean, I can remember growing up, I'd ring people's doorbells and take off and jump in the ditch. It felt like drugs, y'all. I mean, I'd ring 3 or 4 doorbells. I'd be sitting in a ditch and I'd be like, I'm a gang member now. I got the whole subdivision upside down right now. Just silly games that were fun back then. Duck, Duck, Goose hit hard in the 90s. Y'all remember that? I mean, I'm telling you, I wasn't the goose you wanted. I can promise you that. Don't come tap my head because I'm on your ass. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was tight around that circle. I had ponytails off my knees. I was tight around that. This ain't the goose you want, buddy. It's just wild, the games, man. I do think that 90s kids came up with the wildest game ever. I remember it well. It was like 1999. I was in the 5th or 6th grade, sitting there talking to a girl I had a crush on. I was trying to tell her I had a 4-wheeler because I knew that'd move things along. And about that time, my best friend came up and just yanked my pants to the ground. Y'all remember this? This game was lawless. It didn't make any sense. A bunch of middle schoolers going around and just yanking each other's pants down. And it went on. There was a little curiosity in there. I think in hindsight, some of us hate to admit that. It didn't make any sense. You'd just be hanging out with your buddy and he'd be like, let's take a look at that.